And we're on. Well, great evening, great evening, great evening. Actually, it's really afternoon for Terri and I. And if you're paying attention, and I won't hold my breath, but if you are, you knew that tonight, Terri, the incredible Terri Brown, was going to be sharing how to create some of the gifts that she shared. And due to some circumstances in my life, we are not gathering live together. So Terri graciously and Go Give is accommodating me by us being able to do it, a recording. And so, yes, Tune In Tuesday is being posted as a recording, but she's going to walk us through. And so I'm going to turn it over to the amazing Terri Brown and just let her walk us through. And I, too, am going to be walking through the information. Go ahead, Terri.
All right, we're going to make, let me show you here, the peppermint frappuccino. And it's real simple and easy to make. All you're going to need is your Mint Bliss. Make sure you've got your name and info tagged on it. The socks that came with the Mint Bliss. Your cup. Ribbon. I did a stripe to look like peppermint because it's a peppermint theme. You can use whatever ribbon you want to use. And then I got some fake candies, got the little peppermint candies we're going to use to decorate with, and the straw. And what I did is I just bought clear straws, got them at Hobby Lobby, and then I cut them down. I could get 2 out of 1. So all you're going to do is to fill your cup here, I think it's a 16-ounce cup, if I'm correct. I got it on Amazon. Does it say on the bottom?
Mine says 24.
Mine says 20, so it's actually a 20-ounce. Any size will work. 24 will work. You want the cup to look full. So I have found if you take your sock, and everybody gets orders from Mary Kay, I save my peanuts. And I go ahead and put them inside the sock because you want to fill the cup all the way. You want to look like your drink is full. So I just go ahead
Terri,
and...
wait, Terri. I'm leaving the stage for just a minute, and I'm running to get some popcorn. I just had an order come in yesterday. Okay. So keep talking and entertaining, and I'll be right back.
Perfect. Like I said, I always save my peanuts because I use it for my gifts. And I found, because I want my cup to look full, and 24 ounces is fine. You're just going to use more of the peanuts inside your sock to make sure it's completely full. So I just take one sock, put some peanuts in there, as much as you think the more you do this, the more you'll know how many peanuts you're going to need. I don't wrap my product around because I fill this with the peanuts, make it real simple, and then I'm just going to stick the first sock in there.
Brilliant.
You don't have to wrap it around the product because your product still has room to fit with the lids, especially if you do the 24.
Can I ask a quick question? Is it just one layer of popcorn kind of like spread out through the entire sock?
It depends on your cup. Yours, you may need a little bit more because your cup's a little bit bigger.
Okay.
So what you're going to do is you're going to have to see what works better for your size cup. You don't want to use a cup smaller than a 20 ounce. You'll never get the lid on with all the stuff. You have to do a 20 ounce or above. So with mine, I think you would use more peanuts with a 24 ounce than with the 20 ounce. I've just got some in there. Like I said, I don't wrap I just stick it right in there. Because your product is going to sit in the middle here, and you've got your other sock yet. And I did want to let you know, when I do mine, I put a little instruction sheet in mine that tells you how to use the Mint Bliss. I got this offline.
Wait a second. When do we get that copy? Because I have never done that before. There's a reason why, ladies and gentlemen, that we are listening to Terri Brown today. So
I can get that to you. I can send it over to everybody. But yeah, all it does is it tells you what the product is, what it does, and how to use it correctly. I think this is great because I get people all the time that get things and they're like, They can't read the box. So this helps a lot. You're giving it as a gift. They can read it and go, oh, it's for my feet, and exactly how to use it. And then I also put one of my business cards in. I just go ahead and put it like this, and I'm just going to put it right in there because your sock is going to wrap around everything.
So I want to share a couple of things that I'm finding. One, I thought it would take a lot more popcorn. And because the bottom of my cup is very thin, even though it's whatever size it is, I can't put that much popcorn in it or I'll never get the
lid on.
The lid on. And I can't even get the stuff in there because it has filled the bottom of my cup. So I actually have taken most of my popcorn out except for the toe. And then I'm wrapping.
Oh,
the other
okay.
Right. And the other thing that I'm finding is based on I'll give a couple other ideas. If you don't have a business card, use a stamp, use a mailing label, whatever. Right. But Terry's absolutely right. You don't know who they're giving this to. Here. That's what I mean.
You can also put a sticker, make a sticker or something to stick on the back of the instructions with all your info. I just happen to use one of the business cards because it's got all the info with my website and everything listed right on it.
This is a great plug for the MK Connections because that is a smoking deal for your business cards, your stamp, your labels, which I am putting on my product right now.
Yeah, got mine on the back.
Right. Okay, and then
like I said, then you've got your bottom one in. You're just gonna you want to press down because you don't want any holes. You don't want to see. You want it to look completely full. So you can see there. So you just press it down. Then I take my next step.
How far down do you go?
Well, I just press it till it won't go no more.
Okay, but how much do I want up here?
You want to make sure your lid is going to click on. That's how far you got to make sure it goes down.
I need to do a little bit more.
Yeah, I just find it simpler not to wrap the sock or, both socks around it just for me. You might find a better way to do it that works better for you. But I've got all my stuff in there. Now I take the toe first when I wrap the second one in there for the reason that I have to add some more popcorn to fill the top. You want this on the top. So you start wrapping with the toe down. You just wrap it around. And if you don't want to see it. So you got to, as you're pushing, you don't want to see anything in there. So you got to make sure it's all covered.
So can I ask, so like I just took it and folded the sock out. So I have the rough area exposed. Can I do it that way?
Yes, you can. That's why I forgot to tell you that's what I'm doing with mine because it just looks more like a drink. Because when they dump it in there, it's not all smooth. But as you go around, make sure you don't see anything here. Sometimes if you can't get it to work where you're still seeing some of the product through this sock, it just depends on how you are doing it. You can always put your product in the top sock if that's easier for you. So you don't see, because you don't want to see it. Because I've done so many, I figured out how to get it around. Once you do more than one, you'll figure it out. You'll get the hang of it. But you can always put that in there. It doesn't matter. And then if you're going to put that in there, you make sure you get your business card, your instructions, everything in there. So whoever's getting the gift knows exactly what the gift is, where it came from, and how to get more because they're going to love it. So like I said, you can just, if you want, shove it in there, whatever preference for you.
I will say getting my business card in there, I'm finding that it sits much better if I have it higher rather than lower just because it's stiff. and I had to pull it out and start over because I had my sock on the sides too far down. It was right. It wasn't. Does that make sense?
That makes sense. Like I said, you just move it around until you get it. I'm just moving mine around again. There we go. Sometimes if you actually put it in the sock, you can make it where you're holding it, see one side's full, make that dent and shove it in there. And then just push it down to fill it. Like I said, there's so many different ways to do it. Whatever works better for you. But you just want to make sure your lid is going to snap on. So you got to make sure you got the product in there far enough. That's what your goal is, and everything is covered. It doesn't look like you have any openings. You want it to look like a full drink. And layered and all that, it makes it look more realistic. So I'm just pushing, making sure.
I will attest to what Terri said. I find in whatever I'm putting together for the holidays, the first one takes me whatever time, even if I've made a bunch of them. If I made a bunch of them and then step away and it's been 3 or 4 days and then I need to come back to it, I still find that I have to like take a breath. And the first one's going to take me, like this one has taken me forever to make sure everything was covered, right? And then when I put my lid on it, now yours looks a little fuller.
Like I said, you've got that top open. If you want to make it look more fuller, you just add more peanuts at the top to fill it in to make sure the top looks completely full. That's why I like the opening at the top. It just makes it simpler. So then you push it down a little bit. See, now that filled in that little hole. Now it should all click back on. And once it snaps, it's in there. It's not going anywhere. See, there's no product or anything showing through. It just looks like a drink that you get at Starbucks. Because, you know, they put that syrup in there, so it's just everywhere.
Okay, I'm ready.
Now, the next step is I usually place my straw. And my straw, what I do is it's clear, but I take some of this cute little, and I just glue with hot glue the tip and wrap it around. So it's a little added color. You don't have to do that if you don't want to. It's your preference. Then you're going to take it and you're going to take hot glue and just glue it on here. You don't want to get glue on the sock. You just glue it right there with some hot glue.
So another thing, a couple of things on that. The straws, if you got like the thinner straws and you wanted to put them through, I think you could, but it's going to be really tall at the top. So just be aware that you're going to need to do a little adjusting. The other thing is, as she's gluing that and showing you, is this is my reminder on any of that. When you're traveling with these, this right now travels really nicely. Once you put that straw on, you just want to be aware that it becomes a little more delicate. And so the more you handle it, the more that's probably going to come off. So just be aware when you're working with that, and you'll notice she's using the small glue gun. I have the monster glue gun. So it's going to take a little, right? It's not as fine a tip. So it's going to take me a minute or two to master that.
Yeah, now I have come up with something else I'll show you at the end. I've figured out how to do the whipped cream. You could actually stick that in the whipped cream and let it dry. And it will all be in one, and just put that topper on. So you wouldn't have to worry about this. But I thought of that after I made those, and I don't have any more of that product to show you how to do that. But that would make it even simpler, because it would all be once. This is my little whipped cream. If you stick it in there, it would all dry as one piece, and just glue that right on top.
That's a brilliant
So
idea.
you wouldn't have to worry about attaching this in any way, because it would be stuck in that.
Perfect.
So I'm waiting for it to dry. All right, there we go. Then you're gonna take, ribbon. I just make a simple bow. You can use the smaller ribbon, or it actually will look fine with this size. And this is the 1 inch. I couldn't find this they were out in the in the smaller than the 1 inch, but this works just fine. You're just gonna tie a bow. And what I do is with my bow, that's all I'm gonna do to make my bow. I don't know if you know how to do that. You just take it, you're gonna wrap, you want a little bit of a tail wrap, a little bit of a tail, and then you just bunch it together right there, and you got a perfect little bow.
And then how are you finishing it off?
What I finish it off is I use I'll use a piece of this. I'm gonna tie it around here, and then I'm gonna take one of these cute little candy canes. I got at Hobby Lobby. You get all these. They're $3.99, but 50% off. So they're $2. And I put it right in the middle to cover where you're tying it. Just glue it right on there. Where'd my niece? Oh, there's my.
So I'm going to show mine real quick because I did not have her thick ribbon. So mine's very thin. So what I did was a double. I have the pink and I have a silver, and I'm doing the same thing. Now mine's thin enough that I can't. Now, one of the things that I watched this week over and over again, guys, that I have never done a great job of, is I watched a gal with a ribbon, almost like a cutting board, but it actually had the measurements on the side. And she was measuring out all her ribbon. I have to tell you, if you're doing a bunch of these, there is a blessing in knowing exactly how much ribbon it takes for every bow and not using any more than what your bow calls for. That is called money management. And I have been terrible in that area. So I'm just letting y'all know.
I do the same thing. I'll make my first one where, okay, I like that size. I'll cut it before I actually finish making the bow. I make it straight again and then just cut as many as I'm going to need, like this. That way you don't have to make, that way you've got enough for whatever you're making, because I don't like to waste my ribbon either. The stuff's expensive.
I have, and so I've gone to that. Yes.
Yes. This one I got at Hobby Lobby. It was $4.99, so it was $2.50 because all their Christmas is 50% off. That's where I got all of my stuff at.
So I do want to share here, guys, because there's a lot of you who will say, I could get my ribbon at, and there are a number of places. Let me tell you, you can get ribbon at Walmart. You can get ribbon at the dollar store. You can get ribbon at a lot of these places. What I want you to be, what I would caution you, Target, Michael's, what I will caution you is, what I find is, most of the time, Hobby Lobby has the most ribbon on a roll. If I look at the yards or the feet that are part of that ribbon, and then I estimate my actual cost of the ribbon. Just because you get something for $2 at the dollar store, because they're no longer a dollar store, just because you get it there doesn't necessarily mean that it's cheaper than the $4 that you might spend at Hobby Lobby. Check your coupons, because if they only give you 2 yards and Hobby Lobby gives you 5 yards, Hobby Lobby at 50% off is a better deal. So I'm with Terri. Most of my supplies come from Hobby Lobby because I'll know that in the long run, right? If you're doing 1 or 2, not a big deal. But when you're doing massive, you want to, and so now I did mine a little different. I don't have the candy canes yet. So what I did was I just cut some of the pink and I tied it off there. Okay.
Yeah, you can do whatever you like or what ribbon you have on stock. I started with a different ribbon from last year and ran out, and I couldn't find it this year. So now I've gone to this one. And the other thing about Hobby Lobby is they have nice ribbon, because at the dollar store, some of their ribbon isn't very nice and it doesn't cut nice and it doesn't look good. I've found that out over the years.
Absolutely.
And Costco brings out ribbon. I don't know if they are this year, and the huge rolls at good prices. And I think I found it at Ross last year at really good prices. So you can find ribbon anywhere. But I'm with you on the Dollar Tree. It's about the same price going there as Hobby Lobby.
Right. What I find
Yeah.
is, I agree with you, is the quality. There are fine.
Yeah.
So there are little things that you can be aware of. Quality is one of them. I buy all my 2-inch or 1.5 inch, whatever it is, ribbon from Sam's Club or from Costco. Yeah. No one, not even Hobby Lobby, has it. It's normally $7.50. It might be $8 this year. But for the amount that you get, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, so just
you
an
get
FYI.
a huge amount.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yay.
So when you go to put it together, so you've got your straw on, and you can put it, angle it, do it up and down, your choice what you want your straw to look like. You have a lot of options here. So this one, I've got these fake peppermint candies. I would glue a couple on my straw, just give it some more. You're going to put your bow on here. And it depends on, now I've come up with something else where I've done the whipped cream. So I'm putting my bow more on the side. If you're just going to use the bow and nothing else up here, you want to put it more in the front to cover that. So it's going to depend on what you're going to do on the top. See, this one, I did it, you don't see the top, it's here in the front. I've got my bow on, I did a couple candies, and then I put my tag.
Right. And she has some brilliant tags. And again, guys, it's a little, so there's a couple of other ideas that I will give you. I love the tags. They're simple. They're easy. You want to look at that. Her bow is simple and easy. Now, on the peppermints, I might, just a difference is, I might do 2 or 3 actually inside, like they're part of the drink.
I've got one. I did that with this one. Like I said, you've got so many options. I've got them inside.
Right.
And I did a shorter straw. It's just what you like.
Right. So you get to customize. The other thing is, she's going to show you what she's thinking about for whipped cream. I will also give you, Hobby Lobby has the little ornaments. That's what I think of them as. They're white and they have like silver sprays out of them. You could use that as whipped cream also. A little bit of bunch
I haven't seen those.
A little bunch of them. I don't have them. Mine are all colored because I was using them as noses and eyes for reindeer and stuff. Okay. But you could do a clump of those at the top with your bow. Again, I agree with you. Bow somewhere in here. So you could do that too. So you have options for that.
What I did is I went and got some spackle at Walmart. It's just a little bottle. It was $2.49. It's a lightweight spackle. I stirred in a little bit of white paint because as it dried, I didn't want it to yellow. I want it to look white. And I just took a spoonful, put it on a piece of foil and let it dry. And before it dried, I put a little bit of glitter on it, just a little bit of sparkle. Now, if you're going to use these, you could actually stick the straw in here when it's wet and it will stay, and then you don't have to attach it to the cup. And then all I did was glued it right to the top.
That so this looks like whipped cream. It does.
Yep. And I've seen people use this and then they'll use a tip, and they'll put it around. I thought this looked better, if you ask me. And all I did was use a spoon and just put it on a piece of foil to dry. It didn't take long to dry. And I just stuck it right on there and glued it so it's not coming off.
Perfect.
And so that's why this one's got the bow on the side, because you want to see the whipped cream. You can even go more fancy, take red paint, thin it down, and do on the whipped cream, because sometimes those, I don't go to those. I don't drink those, but you can do that to those and make it even look more like a drink.
So what are you charging for these, Terri?
Okay, I'm charging $18 for them. Because the socks I got for free, the Mint Bliss, $12. And then the cup and everything, and I'm charging $18. I don't know. You think that's enough? I'm asking an opinion now that,
So
well, I've added this as a new feature.
I'm going to give my opinion on in two ways. Number one,
Okay.
they should be retail, honestly, should be $20 or more. Just because
Okay.
you and I are sitting here. Now you're teaching me. It took us about 25 minutes. I'm interrupting. We're having conversation. Yes, ladies, you make 50% on your product, but you already have costs in that 50%. And so when you add the cup, and I have cups to share, which is what I'm going to do, including with you, Terri. I have cups to share, and I'm going to do that by the generosity of Chris Patty, who gave me her cups. So I have some of those to share. But having said that, ladies, you have the ribbon, you have the trip to the store, you have all of those things involved. So normally for me, if the product costs me $6, I double it because that's what we do. So the product is $12. So if the supplies cost me $4, I double that too. That's how I figure out how much a product costs me. So you would be about right, 18 to $20, right? Because your supplies are your ribbon, so on and so forth. Having said that, what I will say is, my thought is this though. I don't want to do one or two. I want you to think for a second what it looks like if you did 30 or 40 or 50. And if you're doing that, then you want to think strategically, how does that happen? Well, one, it's under $20, which makes it a value opportunity. But number two, I'm more likely right now to put it out on my social media and say, I am taking orders for this. It is going to retail for this, but for the next 5 days, you can get it for 15. Now, hear how I say that. It's not worth it if I'm doing only one or two, but if I could sell 100 of them at $15 a piece,
that's a good price. Yeah.
Right. Because now I have all my supplies at one place, and I'm going to work my way through those very quickly. And so my time invested is much shorter. But I only am going to do it till X amount of time. And then they're going to be regular price. So I would tell you that you're probably right at the 18. It's somewhere between the 18 and 20. Yeah. Now, what I might say is $20 tax included.
Oh, okay.
Right? $20. Because everybody's tax is different, but $20 out the door, because then you're not so let's just say you're carrying these into the bank, you carry them into the vet office, you carry them into the doctor's office, wherever you're doing that, then they don't have to do change and you don't have to do change. $20 out the door. But I would tell you that I am looking at that and I'm evaluating what that looks like, because I want my sales at the first of the season, not the end of the season. I want to hit it really hard. And so I might consider it a loss leader, depending on how hard I had to work at it. So just an FYI.
And,
so I think your 18 is a great idea.
Once you get going, they're pretty simple to make. It just, you're right. You do the first one, it takes a minute, and then I can bust out a bunch of these in an hour. So
now
it is something easy to make. Yeah.
In an hour is amazing. Okay. So now Terri's going to love me. And she does. I'm so grateful. We've been on for almost 30 minutes, and I know y'all, you will not stick around for more than more. So what I'm going to ask Terri to do is show her other one. And then we're going to schedule a time, and then I'm going to have her come back on and show you how to do this. But I have some suggestions on where to put this. If you're in an office, if you're in a classroom, wherever you may be, that you can be visible, I would put one of these on my desk. I would have it on my desk with the tag on it and let people ask you about it. Number one. Number two, I would have these on social media ASAP. Now, the reason that we're on this way is because I'm actually leaving town. My husband's back already. I got family coming in and we're all driving together. Got to be excited. So having said that, I will not get these on my social media until next week, but I would highly recommend post it on your social media and post it in your stories and do an Instagram where you don't even have to talk, just like you're using it, right? And you're showing it, but you don't have to talk. So I'm encouraging you to get a sampler. That's what we were going to do tonight. A sampler done. Everybody gets a cup from me for a sampler, and then put it out where people can see it. And again, like I said, if I was going to do 15, it would be because I'm going to do mass amounts of them. And I am going to, and I'm going to work on them. Like, I'm not going to do one and then wait 3 days and do another and then wait. That is not a good use of your time. So Terri, share with us the other one that they get to look forward to us sharing with them when I get back next week.
I've come up with the Grinch. I love the Grinch. Everyone's obsessed with the Grinch. It's simple. Well, this one you do have to use some glue because it does have glitter. But once you get these cups done, it's as easy to put together. And this, you don't see the socks, so just ram it in there. You don't have to be all meticulous. Just put it in. And I love to use the tape on this ribbon, the double where it's ribbon, same color both sides. Makes it real simple. But I've done a whole cafe collection. I've done some others, but these two are the products I use the Mint Bliss with. My other ones, I'm using the extra emollient cream because I have a lot of clients that like to use that on their feet. So I've come up with.
I'm going to ask you guys, take a look. She's going to show you the other ones. Look at these.
I've got my pumpkin spice latte. These socks came from Amazon. I've got I'm calling this Twinkle Toes gingerbread latte. And with this one, I did add the whipped cream to the gingerbread one, and I thought it looked really cute. And also with this, you could put the brown, make it look like sauce on it. But and this is the bigger 1-inch ribbon, so it does look fine on the cups if you want to use the bigger ribbon. But yeah, this is my cafe collection. And I did a sneak peek into my holidays, and I've already sold a bunch of them. So I've already started selling them. Everyone loves them because everyone loves these drinks. Don't know why, but.
So there's a couple of things in addition to this, Terri. I want to remind everybody, when you're marketing these, you can always say to somebody, listen, if they're a BlackRock fan or they're a Starbucks fan or they're a Dutch Bros fan, I'll be happy to get you a $5 gift card to go along with this. So now this is $25, but the gift card is in there. And this is how I market these in this form, because my conversation with somebody would simply be this. If they say, well, I give gift cards and I do cash, and this is my response. I totally understand. It can be really, really difficult trying to figure out what somebody might want. What I love about this with your gift card is, one, it's inexpensive. Two, they're going to use the lotion and the socks over and over and over again. So the fragrance, the feel, and the touch are a reminder to them, not a one-time shot with a drink, but a consistent over and over experience that you value and appreciate them, and that you thought of them through this holiday season. So is there any reason why you wouldn't want to add this to your gifting experience? And that is how I talk to people about utilizing these for their gifts.
And with this one, it is more money. These are $25 because the extra emollient cream costs more.
Yes,
so this is, and I've sold them. I've sold all, I have to remake it. I'm down to one. This pumpkin spice latte, everybody, I don't know why, is obsessed with pumpkin spice. And you could even give this for Thanksgiving. You're going to someone's house for dinner, hand them that as a thank you. You've got the emollient cream, a great pair of socks, and a cute little gift for them.
So what I love is we will have Miss Terri Brown back. And utilize her. Right?
Yep, I've got a cute gift with the charcoal mask. That's a Grinch theme. I can show it to you if you want. I can go grab it.
No, I want you to leave them in a cliffhanger because I want them to come back and see. And
I can put my tags up for you. I make all my tags. I make them myself. So all of these, this one says stink, stink, and then stunk is crossed out and it says mint because it's mint bliss. I make all these myself. If you'd like them, I can put them up for you guys. And if you have any questions, just ask. I can answer if you're having problems or any suggestions, or even if you think there's something else we should do with them, I'm up for it. Anything to make them so people want to buy them. That's our goal. Sell, sell, sell.
Perfect. Perfect. All right, guys, we're at 35 minutes and I know y'all, you do not stick around. So Terri Brown, may I say again from the bottom of my heart, how much I appreciate your expertise, your creativity, what you've put together, and mostly your go give. I do know there's going to be questions. Ladies, post them in the comments so that Terri knows to respond. I'll do my best to respond. And with her graciousness, we will have her back. We'll do demos on these so you can take a look and see what that is, and some pricing. Now is the time. Again, I have sat in on 2 different global and, more importantly, U.S. thought processes on what's happening for the holiday season. And the value of a gift is the priority. The value of the gift, packaging is always a priority, but the value of the gift is the priority. So they're willing to spend their money. They're wanting to spend their money on what they find has value. And what I love about this is, again, it is something that they get to use over and over and over again. And it is a memory, because if it's something that they enjoy in one of those drinks, pumpkin latte, then they also have that psychological attachment to it at the same time.
Yep.
Perfect. All right, guys. I will also be posting the tags. I think Terri's tag is what I posted on what to put together for Halloween. I will have that out. If you are not already at schools, let me give you some ideas. Schools, before they get out, you could have them put it in all the teacher boxes, the little goodie bags with maybe a charcoal mask sample, and then the tag and your information in there with a piece of candy. Doesn't have to be expensive. Listen, my daughter bought all chocolate, and this girl bought the dots and the Tootsie Pops and all of that. I spent about anywhere from $8 to $10 less than she did on candy because I'm mass producing. If you have trick-or-treating in your neighborhood, then be ready and have those ready to go to the moms. Honestly, guys, I used to just talk to the moms separately, but the neighborhood we lived in, we had so many trick-or-treaters, I just started throwing them in the bags with the kids. This is what I call throwing mud on a wall. You have no idea whether it's going to stick or not. I've had it stick before, and I've had nothing happen, and something happened over here. I'm a firm believer. When you're just planting seeds, things happen. They just may not happen in the area that you think. If you have somebody, like for instance, this year, I think what I'm going to do is see if I can go to my kids' neighborhood, and I'm going to do the trick-or-treating there. So you might have somebody that, as long as you supply the candy and all of that stuff, they're willing to throw them in people's bags. I got a recruit from that one year. I did. And it wasn't my neighborhood.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah.
Okay. And then businesses, when you're out and about, carry out. Now, I don't necessarily do Halloween themes then. My bags have a tendency to be more fallish, so that I can use them all the way up to Thanksgiving. And that means that I just hand them out wherever I go. How many people do you have work here? Excellent. I would love to gift 6 goodie bags with our Mary Kay Love, right? And just get your name out to all the different places that you're going. And those are my ideas. And I can't wait to use your tag, Terri. So I'm printing those up and getting those done.
Perfect.
Excellent. All right, guys, we really did run over. Do me a favor. In the comments, share some love with Terri. She has spent 40 minutes with me, which, as you all know, can be exhausting depending on how fast I'm moving. But more importantly, she shared her ideas and her gifts and her talents. Let her know how much you appreciate it, because I certainly do. With that, Terri,
thank you.
Wave goodbye, because we're out.
Oh, bye.